living here is more affordable than living in the United States. And in that we're using the US dollar also, it makes everything more affordable for us to be here. That's why we constantly try to invite US people here to be able to enjoy what the US dollar can get you here, which is so much more on a comparison base. The home that we're living now is less than the house that I've lived in for 30 years that I still had payments to make, So we try to tell people, your dollar will go much further here.
At first, when my son and daughter asked me, I was really petrified of coming over here. I was really scared. I said, oh my gosh, I'm leaving my family. I won't be here. If something happened, I can be there, home, and something still could be happening. So once I got over here, I finally made up my mind, I'm going. When I felt relaxed and not so frightened of leaving my family. Once I made my mind, I said, okay, I'm going. So I prepared myself, and here I am.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Gray. I'm a U.S. citizen, currently living here in South Africa. Couldn't ask for anything better.
We both were U.S. vets. I served 24 years, she served 20. Once we retired, we became federal workers. We also done 20 years of that as well. So I done 44, you done
40.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Barry Gray. I am from the United States. I lived, my last residence was Virginia, last 30 years. Moved here last year about this time. Been here now about a year. Like my wife mentioned before, we've been coming here since 2016.
Hi, this is Barry, and I'm Cynthia Gray. Welcome to our home. Come on in. We've been here about a year now, so we're still putting it together, but it's just about there. This is our grand entrance. We have bought things from around, local vendors. I've turned into a plant lady. I've learned how to grow things now. Everything is coming along. This is the entrance. I know I spoke earlier about new blessings, and this house has certainly become a blessing to us. We had a wonderful home in the States, but God has showed out, and this is what we own now. What brought us here, after years of traveling here, year after year we came here, and we liked what we seen, we saw, we liked what we felt. We liked how we felt being here, so we decided once we retired, after many years of federal service and military service, it was time for us. So we decided to move here. So we still, even being from the States, we're still trying to get the African vibe. So we bought local stuff from different vendors. So we love that.
A lot of this was down from
Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Yeah, we went to Cape Town for a visit.
We took December. We took a drive down there, so we drove down there for Christmas.
And it was a drive.
It was a long ride.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And this is our living space where we all come together and relax and I wanted to have a feel of just relaxing, kicking back with a big slouchy couch, watch some TV. Here we're over at the service bar. This is our service bar that we're ready to entertain. It's stacked with everything, with the glasses, refrigerators. We just ready to do some entertaining. And then my husband, who's the real chess player, I said, let's play checkers. He said, let's play chess. We just added this to the home. He's a collector of chess pieces, chess boards. So we set this out here. We're at his own table. We have to move it back and forth because he got some really sensitive pieces.
While I was in the States, I collect multiple different chessboards. This one here, I picked this up in Japan. So my years of federal service allowed me to do a lot of travel as well as in the military. And one of my hobbies was collecting chessboards. I had, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 different chessboards from around the world. And unfortunately, when we moved here, I gave a few to my brothers, my grandsons, and stuff like that. So I still have a few, but this is one of my favorites.
And then once we get all the family here, we have a long dining room table. So when we get the family all here together for the holidays or just anytime, we will be able to have dinner here. Also in the our area, we have another area for the fireplace. We just had this fireplace put in. You know, like I said, we've been doing a lot of reconstruction, redecorating for this house. So we have this area, and we like to sit over here for the sun, because these chairs turn. So any given time, you could find someone just sitting here sunbathing with the fireplace. I have turned into a plant person. I've never had a live plant. And now my plants are growing. I'm very excited about that. I have several plants around the house now that's growing really well. That's never been the case with me. I've always had faux plants, but now I have real plants, and they're growing. Over here, we're still as big as this house is. We all still gather in the kitchen, as you can see. It's always the gathering spot. We have the breakfast table versus the dining room table over here. Sometimes we sit here, and like I said, we even sit over there on the couch because we want to be, just comfortable. We want everybody just to feel like they can put their feet up. And as I say, everybody ends up in the kitchen doing their thing. No matter what, we end up in the kitchen. So our first impression of coming here, what year was that? 2017? 2016, we came over, and we was in Rosebank. And we was done there. We really liked being there, and just the whole feeling and vibe of being in South Africa. Because, as Americans, Westerners, we hear so many different things about South Africa, and we was like, well, where is that? Because what we're looking at is not what we were told. It was fantastic. Even just being in that small area. And that was just our first visit. Our brother Mark was coming here every year, and we was like, we got to go over there ourselves and see what's happening. And when we came, we saw for ourselves. Nothing like what we were told. Nothing at all.
Well, I'm gonna back a little bit. You said what first brought us over here. What first brought us to South Africa was the curiosity that Mark was coming back and forth over here all the time. So all the time. So we were saying, why you keep going over there? What are you going over? Whatever. And he said you come over. He invited us to come over and stuff. Then our curiosity was because they kept coming over here. So we kept seeing them coming back and forth, back and forth.
And it wasn't for work.
It wasn't for work.
Right.
So they kept coming. We said, okay, we want to see why you're coming over here. So they said, well, we're not going to tell you. You come over yourself. So 2016, when we first got here, myself, my wife, and my mom, we came. It was an eye opener. It really was. Like she's saying, it was totally out of what we expected. To be truthful, we really didn't know what to expect. We would just go, okay, we're just going to go see and whatever.
With an open mind, open heart.
To be honest, a comparison, it's not a comparison. Yes, we live well. We lived okay. We done well, and we didn't struggle, whatever. So we did quite well over there for ourselves, and by the grace of God, we did. Coming over here, and you seen the vast difference, a big difference in the cost of living and the just the if I can just say the food. The food was to me was outstanding. The food was just different. The taste different. The quality was different. It was just it was totally different. The taste, it was very much more enjoyable. So I could just hit food.
And not even on the, you know, how they say the luxury side of it. Just even going to a grocery store. The grocery stores are totally different. It's totally set up different. You can see how fresh that the food here looks versus the food in the United States grocery stores. It's a total vision. You look at something with your eyes first, and then you worry about the taste, and it's totally different on how they present their foods, their products. It's totally different.
And also the welcoming. You got a feel of you belong. They welcome you. The hospitality, the kindness, the service that they give you. It was just like a open what you when you came here. It was like this is where I belong. It's almost like you, and I'll give you an illustration of. Um, we was in the military. When you go on a rucksack, when you go on a road march, you got a big heavy rucksack on your back, and then when you end the road march, you take it off. It's just like that. You just feel all the pressure is off.
Yeah.
The relaxed moment, sit down and just sit there and grasp what's going on and enjoy the moment and the people, the surroundings, and everything else that goes along with that.
So we do have an office space, so we can keep everything separate. So this is the office.
Here's another chessboard, as you can see.
Another chessboard.
Yeah, we like I said, we still maintain here because we still keep up with our investments and things like that. So.
Yes, and this is a spot that he does a lot of his studying of his Bible. He still got to get that word in. He spends a lot of time sending scriptures back to the States, to our family and friends. So he spends a lot of time in here doing that.
As you can see, you see some of the pictures of the family members, which is not all, but just a few.
Just a few. Keep them around.
And these are some of the youngest grandbabies over here. And we have one granddaughter out of all the grandkids, just one, so she gets special treatment.
Yeah, she the princess.
So we have two, and then we have one great grandkid. I don't have that picture as of right now, but like I said, down to the hall or the two other rooms that we have, but right now they're maintained. Someone's in there right now.
Yeah.
This here will be converted over into
his man cave.
The man cave.
His man cave.
So we're doing a drawing up for that. So this will be the man cave here. We'll have doors and my peace and quiet. I don't know about too much of that, but
yeah. And this is the sunroom. Coming to the sunroom, and it's sunny. This is the best place to be to catch a African storm. When that thunder hits, oh my goodness, it's amazing. You just pull these curtains back and watch the thunder go across them skies. It's great.
This also serves as a game room, so we can, play family games and things like that. So
I still have found time to do some thrifting. I found a wonderful thrift stop. I got this piece here. Oh, love it, and you wouldn't believe how much I paid for it. And this thrifting is better than the U.S. thrifting. But yeah, nice. And then into our
bedroom here.
Going up and down the steps is not easy, so we had a coffee bar installed. I like to have my coffee in the morning. So it'd be hard to go up and down them steps first thing in the morning. So we have our coffee, and then we take it out to the our balcony. You know, this is one of the prerequisites for this house. I had to have a balcony off my bedroom, and we come out here and we stay out here after night. And he's been known to sleep out here.
Yes,
So
I do sleep out here.
yes,
You have a perfect view of the golf course.
yeah, all the
And
tournaments.
like I mentioned, some of the pros and cons of having a golf course. We came out here one morning and the golf ball was stuck right here. So those are the pros and cons of living on a golf course.
Yeah, and these are my flowers I've been working on. I've done a lot of succulent planting. I love it. I love it. I talk to them every morning, see how they're doing. They're growing. My mother tried to get me to grow succulents. I couldn't do it for nothing. So now I say, Ma, I'm growing succulents. So, yep, I love them. In this way, this
The
is
latest project.
this is it. And I know the ladies will understand. This was my dream come true right here. This is 40 years of work. My closet. I love it. They just finished it about 2 weeks ago, and I'm still putting clothes in and organizing, but this is my closet. I love this closet. Yes. Worked hard. All my bags, my hats. Yeah. And now I can find my jewelry. I have tons of jewelry I never knew I had or forgot I had. It's almost like it was a dream I've always wanted. I said, I'll never get one of those. I was even ready to accept a IKEA closet. And when I was able to do a real, legit, proper closet, yeah. Just to have all my stuff organized and I can see it and have it on display, and it kind of shows off all the hard work that I've done over the years and be able to have a dream come true. Then I have my picture of my parents watching over me. These are our parents. My parents, who if it wasn't for them, yeah, some hardworking people, and this is like a dedication to them.
It's off limits to me.
But he comes in here, I'm like, why are you here?
It's off limits.
He likes to step in here every now and again, but
Just wait till my man cave
Yeah.
is built. So
yeah, I'm gonna support him in his man cave because he supported me in this closet.
saving, like we're saying, our dollars goes a lot longer because the range it can goes anywhere between 18, 19 to 1. So the amount of money you're spending here is going to be half, if not, less than that, than what you would spend in the States. So because we own the home, we don't pay for anything. Our monthly can, like I said, stretch to a couple of months. So the dollar, like I said, the dollar here versus, the rand here compared to our dollar just stretched. So it's a big savings. Actually, you don't have to spend anything if you don't want to. To be truthful, other than your grocery, your electric, or whatever. Outside of that, you really don't have to spend anything if you don't. I'm saying if you don't want to. So it does stretch. The savings is astronomical compared to what you would do in the States.
I think the advice I would give to anyone that wanted to relocate here, particularly, it would be to come for visits. Come and see if you can, if you would like it, and just get to know the people. Don't come here to take, but come here to give. Come here with a sense of community. I think for them to relocate here from the U.S. is always a sense of fear. and there's nothing to be afraid of because everything that you're thinking you're going to miss out on is here tenfold. So I think the whole thing behind it is just come first to see what it's like, and have a plan. Be purposeful when you come. Don't just show up at the door and thinking everything is going to fall in your lap, because you have to come correctly. We thinking we're going to bring our Westerner ways to here. Well, this is not the U.S. We have to respect the land that we're in. So you would have to be a person that can be able to drop the way that you were in the States and come here and pick up new ways. And now it's, if we feel so relaxed now, we like the new way, because we was like, in the U.S. we always rush, 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 rush. You want something done, you want it now, 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 now. Now it's like, okay, it'll get done. They're gonna finish. So just my advice is just to kind of want to learn something new instead of trying to hold on or bring what you had, bring that old baggage to here.
Some of the things like he mentioned is that come as a tourist to see, you know, what it's about, understand the culture, the rules, the laws, and all this, understanding that what we done in the States
It's definitely
does
not gonna
is
work.
sometimes some is irrelevant here because you're talking about two different continents and two different countries, that what they did in the States does not apply here, and you'll learn that. You understand that, like we're saying, understand their cultures and how they go do things, and respect their culture. The laws is very important. Like we're saying, um, the laws of buying a home, buying a car, going out there and shopping for groceries. Understand those things. So just get a feel for the environment and the surroundings that you may want to go into, venture into live there.
The way we sustain ourselves while being here, um, that's another thing. We prepared. We're retired. Before coming here, we cleared out all debt that we had in the United States, so that we can come here with a clean slate. So we do have retirement income. The both of us do. We both retired from two jobs, as far as military and federal government. So that's how we sustain ourselves. We prepared. We save money before coming here, and that's how we're able to be here without actually working. Because we've retired twice, so I think that was enough.
Hello, my name is Barbara DeGrose, and I'm from the United States. And I came here almost, the first time I arrived here is about 4 or 5 years ago. And my first visit here. And I was kind of apprehended by coming, but once I got over here and saw the atmosphere and the hospitality that was shown to me, and it kind of relaxed me a lot, because you hear so much negative stuff about Africa, and I was really, I was really astonished, because I said they had everything that the United States has. They would have constructions, they have cars. My expectation was much different than the vision from what I was told. Somewhat laid back, quiet, the hospitality. No one seemed to be in a great big rush of, doing things, going places and relaxing. So it made me feel kind of relaxed, seeing everybody, the atmosphere and the relaxation and the kindness that was shown to me on my first visit here.
What I have noticed in my mom coming here, being more relaxed, being um, open to you know um, the customs here, the culture, engaging with the going to the store, and just she's always been someone who go. But going to a brand new store or going to a brand new environment and feeling relaxed, so relaxed that she just go and just get embedded in the community.
I went back recently and they were asking me different questions. I said, you have to come and experience yourself. You can't go by what I might say. My feelings will be much different. For when if you visit, you might not say this is not what she said. But I said you have to visit yourself and see how you feel, like I felt when I first came here. So I think I answered a lot of questions when I put that statement out. You have to come for yourself. You can't go by how I feel and how what I see here in Africa on my first visit. Quite a few of my families have been here too, and then because one daughter would say I'm not going over there. Then following 2 years, she came over here. Now she's coming back for the second or third time. Right.
She'd be her fourth, maybe.
So, I think they have to come themselves. That's all I can say. They can come themselves and see what they feel like and how comfortable they feel like, feel once they, experience, how it is here.
Some of the thought process as far as some of the thoughts of the family and what they thought. Well, because we have been here, quite frequently, and so some of the family members also came over with us, brothers and sisters, nieces, nephews, grandkids. So they have, before we made the final decision to move, quite a few of them traveled also.
Had already been over.
Have already came with us. So to tell them, to mention said, this is where they kind of knew we was gearing to that, and a lot of encouragements of congratulations, and of course some of them have questions, how's this, how's that, whatever. But for the most part, it was encouraging to hear. A lot of them was happy that we was venturing out.
My family's here. Most of them are here. My older brother lives in Guatemala, so we have one sibling that's still currently in the States, and she's looking to move here also. Our children, they was yay, they was our biggest cheerleaders about coming because they've been here, they seen it, they knew where we were going. It wasn't like some unknown place that we was going to disappear to.
3 of them have. We still have 2 that haven't.
Yeah,
came
we're
yet.
still trying to get.
We're working on that.
Trying to get them on a plane, but yes. So they know where we're at. We get calls from them all the time. We talk all the time. We have WhatsApp chats, and we're good. They're happy for us. Being here has changed how I see myself. I feel like I can do more. Being in the States, I felt like I was on that wheel, just keep going around and around that rat wheel. Here, now I feel like I can do what I want to do. I've, become a more open to receive new things, to learn new things, to exercise. To exercise is something he's been trying to get me to do for years, and now I'm more open to it here. Like I said before, I do plants now, something I never did. It's just feel like there's more. We have more time to put forth the effort to do the things that we want to do for ourselves.
How it changed. It's one thing, and I've said one thing, when you come over here, you have to learn that you have to have patience.
Yeah.
One thing, you have to have patience. And I had to learn that. I had to understand when we mentioned the culture. It's not a rush to do things. Everything is not an emergency to do things. So you learn that you have to be patient to get things completed, to do certain things, requesting certain things. going certain places, all that. And also here we we found the church that we like, and we're participating in that. And it's more now, you want to be more giving and more serving. It opens you up for that. Because now you're not in a, like you're saying, you're not in a rat race. You're not thinking about yourself, not, you're thinking more of other people. And it's easy here to think of other people because of they love being kind, and I like their attitude here for the most part. It's just when you encounter them, it's just their hospitality, their kindness, the warmness, and it's you gather that when you talk to the South Africans. I like that there. I like it here, and you said, how do I adjust? And I'm in my pajamas half of the time. So that should tell you, it's just a comfortable feeling being here, and I enjoy it. We enjoy it.
Yes, I do feel like a brand new person. I feel like a rebirth have come about, as in the fact of learning and doing different things. I never knew that I had the interest of birds. I can sit here in this room and look out this window and look at all the different types of birds that are out there walking down the golf course, or I'm out there fiddling around with my plants, talking to my plants. There's a whole new outlook on life now. That, how you say, take the time to smell the roses. That's how I feel right now. Where I can take the time to see what's out there.
How do I feel? Yes, like I was mentioning, that you're not in a rush. You're relaxed, and I just think, like I said, we joined a new church, and it's that our mission that God give us is that we're supposed to reach out to people, spread His word, His salvation, and things like that. And to here, it's just when you don't have the worries of the hustle and bustle and everything else in your life, retirement, you have the freedom to pretty much do a lot of things that you weren't accustomed to doing for 42 years. Like I was saying, sitting there, when you came, I was sitting outside, not even worrying about doing anything. At a certain any given time, I'm in pajamas if we're not planning on doing anything. It's just the relaxing atmosphere that you grow accustomed to here. Oh, this is retirement. This is this is what I do now. not just here, but we're enjoying. Uh, um, or they say the fruit of your labor. We're enjoying what we're doing now, retiring and enjoying it.
I think the main sacrifices we had to make coming here, as we did, was not being around our grandchildren as much as we were before. Because even like now, this season, we normally have them for the month of June, and now they're going like, what happened? That is the one sacrifice. But they are looking forward to coming here. So by them coming here, we'll be showing them something new and different. You know, and that'll show them that you don't have to stay in that one spot. You can always branch out. So it was a sacrifice, but also it's something we're gaining something from being able to show them more.
Yeah, I agree. Because we had 6-year old, 7-year old, and even a 2-year old grandkids, we sacrificed not being around, and nieces and nephews, and even the kids. Every summer, like you mentioned, every summer we had them. I think one summer, 2 summers before that, we had a thing what we call the great camp out, where we had all the grandkids and all the nieces and stuff, and we pitched tents, and we did for that weekend. We Those family gatherings are some of the things that you
Yeah.
miss the
Yeah.
most. So you know, that would be a big sacrifice for us, right?
Yeah.
Missing out on those things there. How do I feel that I've been accepted here?
Mm-hmm.
And
Feel
some of the
welcome.
ways it would be, I'm bad with names. You can tell me your name 4 or 5 times and I'll still ask you. You can go somewhere and tell them your name one time. Don't go there for months and go back and they remember your name. They'll talk to you, and hold conversation. Anytime someone can remember your name on a good note and sit there and remember the conversation that you had and always greet you when you first come there and always smiling and always, hospitality, and I can't get away from that. To me, it's that they're showing you their gratitude. They're showing you how much they appreciate you there. And if you, for instance, you go there for business or whatever it is, and you um, um, talk to them and share your life with them, and they share their life and stories with you, and you create that relationship. And a lot of times they do that. So that's how I feel that they open up and accept you, being there.
Well, I think that's a part of the whole thing, how you don't know what you don't know until you come here. I heard they don't like it. Well, you don't know that until you go there. So I think that's one of those myths, those continuing myths that keeps perpetuating, and we try to figure out, well, I'm not going there because they don't like me. Well, we haven't had anybody come up and say I don't like you. It's been totally the opposite.
What surprised me most, and I made mention, is that how warm and open they are. Like I'm saying, is that if you can you can tell me who the conversation we had, and we haven't had a conversation for 2 months ago. You can come back and tell me everything we talked about and mention all this other stuff. And to me, that is,
It's the
yeah,
sincerity. It's
I
the
don't know too many
sincerity of it.
places in the United States that we done
Yeah.
is say, what was the name again? And it's not just once, they do it all the time. So that to me was one of the encouraging and surprising things to me.
Yeah, it's the sincerity of the people that's here when you're talking to them. Because we could, in the States, our favorite line is, good morning, how you doing? But you keep walking. You don't wait for the answer. You just, good morning, how you doing? And keep on. Here, they really want to know, how are you doing? And what can we do to fix it? So I think that's the most surprising thing, just to not for the people, but for me to realize people really do care. When you ask that question, they really care about the answer.
And one thing I want to tell is that sometimes is that when you, for instance, we're pretty good at saying good morning, and if you forget, they remind you good
Yeah.
morning. It's almost speak first before asking something.
Yeah.
They speak,
Yeah.
and
We
you're
had to learn
welcome.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before you do anything.
Yeah.
So I like that,
Yeah.
and they
They remind
adamant
you.
about that.
Our wealth and wellness has improved substantially. Even when like you say, we make less money, but we're richer for it. Giving up our income that we had there, if we had to continue to work and work and work, our wellness would be going down, 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 because we get up, we go for a walk, we go to the
Stress.
gym, the stress, so being here again with the American dollar, it stretches, so it makes up the difference of the heartache that we were going through when we were in the States. I think being here makes us realize that the money that we're making here outweighs the stress that we were having in the States.
Yeah, and other things, it also show you the things that you thought you always need, you don't always need.
No.
So you do a lot with a little and don't need a whole lot to do it with.
Yeah. Um, that's funny. What I do care about now is health. Because it's like, well, I want to stay healthy so I can live like this for a long time. I want to get myself together. So the thing I do care about now is our health.
I would say the thing I care about more, and it's more you're more appreciative now, is that you care about people more. You care about people and their well being. Not saying that we didn't care then. It's just a different perspective now that you're on the other side. And now where it was you always thought about United States and all this. Now you care about people generally and how they're doing. And you show that every time you talk to someone that you give a tip here, you're helping in some form or fashion.
Well, in our future here, I would like to see our younger sister, move here. I would like more family members to come over for a visit. We also want to look into buying property here. You know, we want to have that generational wealth here from here. So for me specifically, I would like to be able to buy property here.
The first thing I would say, what I would want is everybody understand and appreciate and accept Jesus Christ. Because to me, that makes it so much. I'm not saying your life would be easier, but it gives you a better perspective in how to deal with people, and also our salvation. That's what I would like to see in the future. Is continue to spread God's message and what He wants for everyone.
The advice I would give to people who have retired, I would think they would, if they were to come here, it'd be like a reuniting of a relationship. It'd be something new and fresh. You would have less. I think you would have less stress on yourself if you were here. If you're in the States and you're struggling, you know, thinking you're going to receive that American dream. You don't work 20, 40 years and you're still waiting on that American dream and it's not happening. That brings on that stress to a relationship. So I think if you were here, where you can cut that stress and be here, that would make out for a better relationship. It's like, why struggle when you can come here and live great? Yeah.
It takes planning and
Yeah.
preparation,
Yeah.
and not tomorrow, whatever. It takes
Planning.
years ago.
Yeah.
Is strategic planning really plays a big part in. I always say, where you at today is reflecting on what you done yesterday. So if you want this here, then you have to prepare
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, because even before coming here, it took us, 4 or 5 years to say, okay, if we're going to do this, we need to do this, this, and that before we can get here. So that's how we ended up here, planning.
Why did that take so long?
I would say to my past self, let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
Hurry up.
No hesitation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good question.
it was worth it because we have a chance to, as I mentioned before, to bring my mother over here. She'd be 90 in August. I mean, in August, July. July 23rd. She'll be 90 years old. By the grace of God, hope that, and just for her to come here and feel relaxed and enjoy it. And then, if you mention she has to go back, you just see the stress on that she doesn't want to go there. See, to me, it has been worth it just to see her enjoy it, relax, and just feel at ease.